Hey everyone, and welcome back to Sean Synapse. Okay, today's show is going to hit a little close to the heart, but before I get to that, I just want to give a special shout out to all the mothers and women out there. You ladies do a phenomenal job. You know, as a man, I'm never going to understand what it's like to go through birthing a child, any of the pain or recovery that you ladies will have to go through. So I just want to say I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Being a parent is one of the greatest joys in the world. You get to watch your child take their first steps, or you get, as soon as they're born, and then you get to watch them crawl, take their first steps, get through kindergarten, graduate, get into high school, get into a good college, and get married and start a life of their own. That's the greatest joy about being a parent, is watch your child grow up and be successful. Unfortunately, Jen and I were not able to experience that with our first child, Evan Parker Stewart. So I'm going to go back a little bit. On this day, 6 years ago, Jen and I found out that we had lost our first child, Evan Parker Stewart, to strictures in his umbilical cord, meaning that he wasn't getting enough nutrients or blood flow as needed to survive. So today's a little bit of a difficult day for us, but I wanted to share it with you. We always had that question, what could we have done better? Why us? We were just very worried. Now, we are still considered parents with even Evan being born and then going to heaven with God. So it was just a really difficult situation. I can't imagine what Jenna was going through. I mean, a normal birth, like I mentioned at the beginning, is probably hard in itself, but the joy of it is you get to hold that baby with you, and watch that baby grow up. But the discomfort and the sadness and the overwhelmingness of having to go through it when the baby is not going to go home with you is just a tragedy in itself. So Jen and I have been through a lot, and like I had mentioned today, Evan will be 6 years old. So mainly that's kind of the backstory, but what I really wanted to mention was that, a lot of people like to ask the mother how they're doing after the birth of a child. How you feeling, how you holding up, emotionally, mentally, physically, and I understand all that, absolutely. But when a mother has a stillborn child, then obviously people are going to obviously focus on how she's doing emotionally, physically, mentally, because it's hard. I wish nobody would ever go through this, not even my worst enemy. However, sometimes the fathers don't feel included. And there were some people in certain situations where Jen and I were together, and they'd come up and say how sorry they were, and if they asked if they could do anything or whatever the case may be. But most of their attention was towards Jenna, which means I never felt like I was important enough to be asked. Now, I'm never going to know what it's like. No man will ever know what it's like to hold that baby in their belly for 9 months or whatever the case may be. But you know what? We are important. We are the father of that child. So just want to let you know that it should be very important to ask the father how they're feeling too, because they might be a physical, mental, emotional. They might be having some issues as well. I mean, I remember that where I held it together as long as I could for Jenna, and then there was just certain situations where the roles were reversed. I would break down, and she would have to comfort me, and that's what the amazing thing is. We're there for each other. Now, we've been blessed with 2 amazing children after Evan, with Oliver and Lucy, so that's just a blessing in itself. But we will always remember this situation. We will never forget this situation, and in fact, we do celebrate Evan's birthday every year, so this is kind of a hard week for us, but if you're in it together. In fact, we've met some really amazing people through this situation. In fact, I met an old friend that I used to work with long ago, and they went through the same situation we did, so it's really nice to reconnect with those type of people and meet new people that have also been in the same situation. We just realized that, no one's ever alone in a situation like this. And in fact, I got to share my story with some doctors. I met a room of doctors, and I was actually kind of nervous, but their main focus was to see, what kind of questions can you ask the man in the grieving process when, because they're grieving as well. So just want to say, always include the man in a situation like this. So thanks for watching. Keep watching. Thanks for subscribing. And just remember that the man is just as important. And just real quick, we want to say happy 6th birthday to our little Evan Parker Stewart, who's in heaven watching over us. Thanks for watching. Keep watching. Get your friends to watch. Get your friends to subscribe. I appreciate all the support through the years. Have a great day. I'm out of here.